In the previous videos, we've described climate-related financial risks and the tools that central banks, regulators, and financial institutions had to better factor them in. We will now explain how the AFD Group addressed the subject. The AFD is involved in climate-related financial risks, both as a bank and as a development agency. As Thomas explained in the previous video, the AFD, like all banks, is exposed to climate-related financial risks through its loan portfolio. Its clients, states, local authorities, public or private companies, and banks could face physical or transition risks and therefore struggle to repay their loans to the AFD. As a bank, the AFD must be able to measure this risk and report it to the regulator. But the AFD is not just a bank, it's also a development agency, and on that is fully committed on climate-related issues. Better factoring in climate-related financial risks can raise awareness among political and economic players and help reach the goals set collectively in the Paris Agreement. At the AFD, we believe that raising awareness about the risks among our partners is part of our task as a development bank. By doing so, we can trigger changes in policies and investment choices in countries we work with and help with these changes on the financial and technical levels. As a development bank, our goal is not to sanction our most vulnerable clients by raising the cost of loans to shield ourselves from higher risk of non-repayment or by stopping funding them. On the contrary, our goal is to help funding these clients and partners transition towards a low-carbon and resilient economy.
To better factor in climate-related financial risks in its practices as a bank and a development agency, in 2017 the AFD adopted a climate-related financial risk interdisciplinary roadmap with 4 pillars, involving several teams from different executive offices in the AFD. The first pillar is measuring the AFD's loan portfolio's climate-related financial risk. Thomas told you about that in the previous video, and we will get back to the details of this subject in another video. In a few words, the group has conducted a mapping of its exposure to physical risks and has adopted tools to include them in the borrower's credit's risk analysis process. The second pillar of the roadmap is about how to use climate-related financial risks in the dialogue about public policies with the AFD Group's partners. A first study was carried out for South Africa in partnership with the Climate Policy Initiative (CPI) think tank. The microeconomic and financial aspects of the study helped raise awareness among many South African economic actors, power companies, banks, local authorities, about their exposure to transition risks. A research program to repeat the approach with other countries is being launched. Studies predict the inclusion of fair stakes in terms of transition, land uses, and structure between the national and regional levels, among other things. Another goal is to train local partners on these microeconomic and financial approaches. The third pillar is about the support that the AFD can provide to the actors of these financial systems in adopting climate-related financial risks analysis tools. The AFD is doing so in 2 ways. First, by offering funding and technical assistance for financial institutions to include climate-related stakes in their strategy and operations. Second, by assisting the financial regulators and supervisors in the evolution of regulation related to climate change. Finally, the fourth pillar of the roadmap is the contribution to international debates and to the elaboration of regulations on climate-related financial risks. The AFD is working to share its works on the subject with development banks and more broadly within the financial industry. We are trying to be proactive to organize events on climate-related financial risks in relation with the Climate Action in Financial Institutions Initiative and the IDFC. We have also published a series of notes to build on our experience about including physical risks in our credit analysis processes. We are trying to share our experience and raise awareness among our peers and partners about the importance of these complex but essential subjects to achieve a transition towards low carbon and resilience. The AFD is involved in climate-related financial risks, both as a bank and as a development agency. The following modules will help us take a deeper look at this roadmap and the associated achievements. And of course, we will provide a series of resources which you can refer to for more information on the subject.
Les sujets.